So in terms of people that, and this sort of follows from that sort of comment, so people that are struggling with debt, and they're feeling overwhelmed, they're feeling stressed out, they're feeling anxious, they're feeling ashamed, they're feeling all these things that we've talked about. What are some reassurances that you can give to them about their situation? And I'm sure that all of us have encountered this countless times. And this is another thing too. People feel like they're alone and their situation's unique, and of course that's I mean, while we always look at the specifics of someone's situation, and in that sense it's unique, they're not alone or unique in the sense that they're not the only ones out there with these problems, and hopefully we can help them recognize that. But Tara, like what are some of the things that you would offer to reassure people that about their situation?
I think there's nothing better for people than to know what their options are, because people, and I guess just to speak to some of the things we were talking about before, but people come into this process knowing absolutely nothing about their options or these processes. For the most part, they may have been on the internet or whatnot, but generally they don't know. And so they do end up getting a lot of information from us up front. But they can be assured, like you said, that we're talking about all of their options and laying that out for them. And it is not uncommon at all for someone to say, uh, after an initial consultation, I feel better. Haven't
Hmm.
done anything yet. Haven't decided what I'm going to do. Haven't necessarily picked what path I'm going to go on. But now I know there are options. And
Right,
so this
right.
might not be the right timing. It might not, we may need to get other information in order to figure out what may be the best option for you. But all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, like I can't believe, like, okay, I feel better. It's like, well, you haven't done anything yet. It's like, I don't know, but I still feel better. So I
Exactly.
always like to talk about that stuff because it always surprises me when people say that.
Yeah, and I think all of you would agree that that's quite rewarding for us, right? When we are able to talk to somebody and they realize what their options are, and it makes them feel better even in the moment, even though they haven't done anything specifically. It's great. It's certainly part of why I do what I do. And it's also that getting past that fear of the unknown, because when before they came in to see us or talk to us, they didn't know what was out there, and of course everyone imagines the worst, and more often than not, that's not the case. And certainly, when they see that they haven't just got one option, they've got more than one option, that's a huge relief as well. So yeah, absolutely. So well, that sort of comes to the end of the specific talking points. But if there's anything specifically that any of you would like to, connect back to or comment on, feel free. I'm sure that Zenon and his colleagues would appreciate the extra commentary, maybe able to weave it in with our other snippets. So there we go. So yep, take
Yeah,
it
I
away.
think the
Yeah,
only
go
thing
ahead,
I
Don.
would maybe add to add to some of the points that we talked about earlier in going over all the different options and coming in for that free and confidential consultation, right? Your neighbor doesn't know you're meeting with us, if you will, but each province and federal laws as well have things that people get to keep. Even if bankruptcy ultimately ends up being the option that somebody does choose as being the best one for them, you don't lose everything. There's a lot of things that you get to keep. And we touched earlier on people saying to us, I wish I'd come in and seen you sooner. And what it triggered in my mind was people who maybe have taken out a second mortgage or cashed out RSPs or things like that that could be protected even in a bankruptcy. And so getting that advice earlier than later um, may have given them part of what they need for that fresh start moving forward. So that was one point that came to my mind as we were talking.
Hmm. No, absolutely. And I think too, just the idea that, for some people, coming in to see us is a bit stressful because they're just, like you said, they may think, well, people are going to know what I'm doing. One of the points I've made to people before is, MNP is primarily an accounting firm. So if you're coming to see us, it doesn't mean you're coming, when you come to MNP, it's not because you have debt necessarily. You might be getting your taxes done by us. So it's not, walking in our door is not indicative of the fact you're overwhelmed by debt by any means. But no, good point on that. And yes, of course, we offer free and confidential consultations. And again, we'll offer you the best advice we can based on your circumstances and send you in the direction that's appropriate, even if that doesn't include us. So